Hello internet! Where do forests actually come from? Let's find out. In just a couple hundred years, this has turned from a newly formed, barren, lifeless, rocky island into a fully functional forest. How? Well, it's all thanks to something called ecological succession. Succession is the gradual change of the environment and the types of species in its community. If you don't know, a community refers to all the different living organisms in the same habitat at the same time. For example, all the living things on an island, or in a forest, or in a savanna. In our case, this type of succession is called a lithosphere. Litho meaning rock, and sphere meaning stage. So, rock stage. This rock doesn't stay bare for long, however, as it quickly gets colonised by pioneer species. The most common example being lichen.
Just two?
Yes please. So, Mr. Lichen, what are you?
Basically, I'm a colony of microorganisms. We've come together in symbiosis to survive.
The algae part of this colony does photosynthesis to provide food for us, and the function part gives the algae protection and structure.
When it comes to what we do in succession, we get the ball rolling. By secreting a weak acid, we can actually break down the surface of rock. This exposes nutrients and particles that we form into a rich substrate called humus.
We also have a really cool ability to take nitrogen in the air and fixate it into solid nitrates. These nitrates can then be absorbed, and the nitrogen is used by all sorts of living things to make important things like DNA and proteins.
I'd say we're probably the most important part of succession, and the coolest.
That's enough for you. This is my show. When these lichen die, they break down into substrate even more, and even larger pioneers like moss can grow on top of them. Over time, as these pioneers grow and die, they form a small layer of soil, which allows the larger plants to grow on top of them. Plants like grasses, ferns, and small bushes. These larger plants are only able to grow because the pioneers made the environment more hospitable for them. But then, these new plants outcompete the pioneers, getting more light and nutrients and water, and cause the pioneers to largely die off. These small plants grow and die and grow and die, just as the pioneers did, and as they do, they also increase the depth of soil, which allows larger and larger plants to grow with deeper roots. These then outcompete the smaller plants, so on and so forth, until you get trees. These are pioneer trees that grow fast and well in quite inhospitable conditions. Trees like ash, birch, and my lovely Scots pine tier. All of this has just been the build-up to the final stage of succession, the climax community. At this point, you get forests of slow-growing trees like oaks, giant redwoods, or silver firs, depending where in the world you are. And of course, you get lots of different types of these slow-growing trees. It's not just a monoculture. This is, again, just an example world. I don't have the time, unfortunately, to build 1,000 different species of trees. And the species that dominated the previous stages are largely gone, as they've been outcompeted for resources. Obviously, there's still some here, and in patches where, for example, the light is shining through, there's breaks in the cover, there will be more smaller bushes and grasses and such. They'll still be there, but they make up a smaller percentage of the total biomass of the habitat, of the ecosystem. This is the end of succession. For our lithosphere at least. A new succession is actually starting with our good old friends, the lichen, who are now using the bark of trees as a substrate to grow on. When these trees die, the lichen and other microorganisms will help break them down back into soil, so new plants can grow. Now, I've actually just got to head off really quickly. I'll be back in a minute or so. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Add succession. Right. Well done. Should probably just go check up on here again. Make sure nothing's happened. Oh, hey Em. What are you doing here?
Oh, hey, Josax. I'm just watching the fire.
The what? Oh, what did you do?
What do you mean? I'm not responsible for this.
What do you mean? You clearly are.
Anyways, super sorry. I would chat, but I
just feel like
actually
that.
have to eat my dog's homework. See ya, though. See you around.
But, unbelievable. Remember, people, don't start forest fires. Although, this is a good chance to talk a bit more about succession. Even after disasters like forest fires, succession brings back these forests, and faster than before, due to the nutrient-rich ash that still has thick soil beneath. And this is known as secondary succession. In fact, for some ecosystems, it's actually an important part of their life cycle. Succession can also be stopped directly by humans, in a process known as deflected succession, which is where an environment or ecosystem is prevented from reaching its climax community. For example, when people create fields for farming or for sheep grazing. As long as that final forest or final ecosystem can be reached, it's deflected succession. And if we want to rewild these areas, all we need to do is leave them to nature for long enough, and let succession do its job. Sometimes a bit of human assistance to get the ecosystem back on its feet is needed. Or if we want to help the climax community return quicker, we can do stuff like plant trees ourselves, which is of course known as afforestation. And that is where forests come from. Starting from a hostile, barren environment, pioneer species colonize the area, allowing other species to grow, until a climax community is reached, which is our forests. If you like this video and you would like to see the world used for yourself, then it will be available for download, either if this video reaches 700 likes, or in 2 weeks' time, whichever one comes first. Alternatively, it's available now on my Patreon. Patreon members directly support me in making these videos and get perks like access to worlds early and credit at the end of videos. If you'd like to see any sneak peeks or ask me questions, consider also joining my Discord, all of which are linked in the description. Also, all the other people who appeared in this video can be found in the description too. Please go check them out, they are all incredibly awesome, and thank you again guys for lending me your voices. And thank you very much for watching. I really hope you learned something, and now I'm actually curious. I wonder where this island came from. Maybe I'll explore that next time. Till then though, see you later. Hope you have a great day. Bye!